What's going on, guys? It's Jack here with JD for our second episode here on dealing with the Devils. So JD, let's preview this game against Elon, first game of the season. The first most important question I got for you: does Coach K take off his jacket in this first game?
Absolutely not.
Ooh, not. Why no?
Because Coach K only takes off the jacket when it's a close game, and this game is going to be a lapper.
Okay, so that's where this is going. Okay, well, what if, it's close in the beginning and he gets really mad at something Marquise Bolden did?
He'll yank Bolden and put in any one of the other 14 players.
So the jacket stays on?
The jacket stays on.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go into the next question then, because you seem very committed to that answer. So, second question I got for you. How long before the announcers mention last year's trip on that Grayson Allen did on Steven Santa Anna, the returning Elon guard? I think it's under 2 minutes. I think they do it before the 18-minute mark.
If it happens at all, it happens during the preview, but I'm not certain it happens. It's a home game, and they're going to dance around it. This is going to be like the new and improved Grayson Allen, and they may not get to it unless it happens.
Unless what happens?
Unless he trips someone.
Oh, that's the it. Okay. I disagree with you, but I really hope that it does not happen. That's terrifying. If he trips another player, the world could melt down. Bad things, bad omens, apocalyptic. I don't know. It's gonna be bad if you trip somebody else. Let's not even get into that. Let's move on. You just put bad thoughts into the air. Okay. Third question here: how many people are going to see playing time? How many players are going to see the court?
Well, he actually used 12 players by my count in the last game, and
that's with 3 guys suspended.
That's right. He almost used everybody, which was very unusual for Coach K. That's not what we're going to see this time, because this is now a tune-up. Michigan State looms 4 days later. So I think we're going to see 7, maybe 8 players tops.
I think you're on the right path, but just a little bit short here. I think we're going to see 9 to 10 guys. And the reason for that, and I don't think 9 to 10 are going to play significant minutes. The last 2 guys are going to get more cameos. So I think we're closer than maybe the number suggests there. But you're going to see the starting 5, right? You're going to see Duvall, Trent, Allen, Bagley, and Carter. And then you're going to see the first 2 off the bench, which I think are clearly Bolden and Delorier. And I also do think Goldwire is going to be that guard, that 8th man off the bench. And outside of that, maybe you get a cameo from Justin Robinson, who's actually impressed in the early exhibition games since they gave him the scholarship. Or, maybe a cameo from Jack White or Venkovic, but I don't see any of the other freshmen getting into the game. And I really do think it's going to be really 8 with cameos for the 9th and 10th players. So, moving on here, what expectations do you have for these highly touted freshmen that the Blue Devils will be starting tonight? Or on Friday night, excuse me.
Well, the word is huge, and I can't make the letters big enough.
Gotcha. So you're just looking at the size here, and you're saying, well, first of all, I don't think you have much of an expectation, do you? You don't know what to expect.
No, I actually do. I mean, I think that you're going to get Bagley, Trent. I mean, let's face it. Trent was the number 1 shooting guard recruited in 2017. Bagley was all-world 2017, 2018. It doesn't matter. Trey Duval's the only one we're not certain about, and that's why Grayson got 11 assists. 11 assists. I don't think he had 11 assists in 3 games. He had 11 assists in that first game. And
in the exhibition
game. My expectation for the 4 super freshmen is that they're going to be amazing. Now, will they gel together is a different question.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. I think Gary Trent is going to look great. He's very refined. He kind of reminds me in a sense a little bit of Tatum, just for the fact that they were both well-developed prospects coming in. They already had, a complete package of moves that they could go to. I think Bagley is going to get by just based off of his athleticism and his skills initially. Because I think his strength, it's still a bit a ways, and it's going to take some time for him to really get there. And we may not see what Bagley ends up being in his year at Duke, but he still will be that highly touted guy. And then, yes, the questions with Duval are legit. Can he shoot it? And that's what we'll have to find out. And Wendell Carter Jr., I do think is going to be very good for the Blue Devils. His combination of size and shooting is rare. And there's a bit of, Kevin Love-esque to his game, although he's a bit better of an athlete, in my opinion. So let's move on to our sole senior here, Grayson Allen. What do you think he's going to do opening night against Elon when he shakes off those Elon tripping demons?
Well, if the last game was any indication, with 11 assists, he's going to try to fit in. The problem here is going to be Trey Duval, because they're going to now have to share the ball, and I think he's going to try his best initially to come on that court and just fit in. He wants to be Grayson Allen, whatever we're up to, 3.0. However, you don't know until he's playing with Trey, and Trey's going to get some minutes. So let's see. We'll know within the first 5 minutes which Grayson Allen we have.
I couldn't disagree more. I think he's going to look to score the ball aggressively because he knows he needs to set the tone in this first game. There's going to be a little bit of jitters and for the freshmen. And this more so is going to apply in that game against Michigan State especially. But still, this is their first game ever. And I know the exhibitions help with that, but still, this is the first real game. And so I think he's going to look to be aggressive early and look to get his shot off in the beginning of this game. So before we get into our final prediction for the score of this first game against Elon, any other thoughts, ideas you got on the game?
You got to watch it as a preview for Michigan State, which is 2 days away. And as I've said in the last, podcast we did, it really is a preview of the finals of this year's NCAA. And so Coach K is going to take the next 2 games very seriously. He wants to get his team tuned up and ready for Michigan State. Yep,
absolutely. And just a quick refresher for you guys. The last 3 games against Elon, here are the scores. So you got in 2014, there's a little incident at the end of the game with Rashid Suleiman as well, and that score was 75-62. And that was the Duke starting 5 cut year, the 2015 championship. The year with Brandon Ingram, they beat Elon 105-66, and that was in Cameron. So that makes a big difference. And that's where this game will be. And then in 2016, last year, in a neutral site game, they won 72-61. So a little bit of a closer score. So, JD, without further ado, what's your prediction for this game?
Without knowing the previous scores, I wrote down 95-65 because it's at Cameron, pretty darn close to 105-66.
I would say so, and I think Elon's going to keep this game close because they are returning for their 5 starters from last year. They have some size. guys like Tyler Sebring, Steven Santana. And so I think this game's going to be close in the first half. The Devils are going to pull away late. I think your final score is going to be somewhere around 84-65 Blue Devils. But all right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back after the game to recap it and preview the next one against Utah Valley. Again, you guys all tuned up for the Michigan State Champions Classic game. Thanks for listening. We're out. Peace.